Good evening, everyone. Our top story tonight, a Scarborough neighborhood ordered to stay inside after a chemical scare.
It was a cloud of toxic mist that shut down the area today. The warning residents received and why some were already prepared for this. The news hour begins right now.
Random roadside checks could soon get the green light. But does the drive to keep impaired motorists off the streets collide with your civil liberties?
I think it's a great idea.
It opens the door to abuse of that power.
Both sides weigh in. The new design of the female shopper.
They've come through the recession feeling more in control and more financially satisfied because they've weathered the storm.
We'll show you how women's buying habits are evolving with the times. And gamers out of control, literally.
And I challenge you to a dance battle. Let's bust a move.
Our Rob Lath tests the limits of the controller-free video game experience.
From the Global Newsroom in Toronto, News Hour with Leslie Roberts and Ann Ruskowski.
And thank you for joining us. Well, many residents of Scarborough say today's chemical scare isn't the first time they faced a potentially toxic leak.
For several hours, they were told to stay indoors while a chemical cloud blew over their neighborhood. Here's Lama Nicola with the latest developments.
Loud sirens rang throughout southeast Scarborough after a cloud of sulfuric acid rose into the air.
Someone yelled out, get the hell out of the area. So I looked up, seeing a cloud of smoke coming out. Just followed us all the way out to the road and just continue out there, and smoke was just pouring bad.
This contractor was among dozens of workers evacuated. He was a few feet away from where it all started. He said the cloud blanketed the street in minutes.
It's indescribable. It's really bad, so I just ran.
A little acidy, a little burning sensation in the nostrils, but I wasn't hanging around to find out. 50
firefighters responded to the hazmat call here at the Chemtura plant on Chemical Road just before lunchtime. An area of around 2 kilometers was on high alert. Winds were blowing northeast and areas downwind were blocked to traffic. The cause is said to be a malfunctioning filter system. It was all under control quickly, and the sulfuric acid concentration in the air was minimal.
It can burn your lungs, it can burn, your arms and that, but we weren't anywhere even close to that kind of thing.
I felt a little short of breath and dizzy, lightheaded.
Carmela Bianco isn't convinced there was no danger. She lives just down the street and says her daughter felt sick too. She's tired of all the frequent scares.
So there's a lot of chemicals around here. They shouldn't be around here.
Businesses in the immediate area were evacuated. 4 schools were also affected and told to stay indoors, turn off ventilation systems and close all the windows. The news put this parent on edge all day.
I couldn't do nothing. You're helpless at this point with your own child, right? So I wish I could have came to the school and took my son, and I would have left for the day.
But most people here say this happens all the time. They know the drill.
We closed the windows and we were contemplating leaving the area, but we didn't overreact.
There are 5 chemical companies in this area. They form a group called CARE, Community Awareness Emergency Response. Actually, correction is Chemical Awareness Emergency Response. And essentially, they're in charge of sounding the alarm, putting a plan in place when something like this happens. And they also meet with people in the community regularly to keep them informed. And today, it seems the system worked. Live in Scarborough, I'll throw it back inside.
All right, Lama Nicola, thank you. The hunt continues this hour for 2 armed suspects after a shooting in North York. A man waiting at a bus stop in the Finch Keel area was shot in the hand and leg around 11:30 this morning. He was rushed to hospital, but he will recover. The sound of gunfire sent several area schools, including C.W. Jeffries, into a hold and secure mode as a precaution. 15-year-old Jordan Manners was shot to death inside C.W. Jeffries back in 2007.
There's a warning for parents from police tonight after a young girl was viciously assaulted. Just steps from a school, the teenager was sexually attacked in broad daylight. The story tonight from our crime specialist, Catherine McDonald.
In peaceful Nob Hill Park near Eglinton and Brimley, parents who walk their kids here daily are upset.
It's very surprising. It's very sad.
Saddened to learn a 13-year-old was raped yesterday after school here in the Ravine.
4 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, what has our city come to, really? Where 4 o'clock in the afternoon, a child can't walk home by herself or with her friends and not be molested.
Police say a man in his late teens approached the girl and struck up a conversation. The two walked through the park, and when they reached a secluded area, investigators say she was sexually assaulted.
He then fled the area, and she contacted a citizen passing by, who then assisted her in contacting her family.
The alleged victim was taken to hospital for observation last night and today was interviewed by members of the sex crimes unit. Police are now warning everyone in the area to be extra careful in light of this brazen daylight attack.
Nob Hill Public School backs onto the ravine where the sex assault took place. The principal has many thoughts.
Surprised, disappointed, and obviously concerned.
Sharon White will be sending home a letter reminding parents to be aware.
We're not being specific in detail. We're just reminding them about safety. At this point, I don't think that they are aware of exactly what has happened.
But before long, word quickly spread.
This is really shocking for us. It's on Nob Hill Park. It's very scary too.
Usually there's parents with every kid, so it's very unusual for something like this to happen along this pathway.
Police are now looking for surveillance video from the area in an effort to find an image of the suspect. Investigators say anyone with information on the assault is asked to call them or Crime Stoppers. Catherine McDonald, Global News.
Here's something to ponder as the holiday season draws closer. Would you give up some of your personal liberty in order to stop drunk drivers from killing and maiming on the roads? Let's go live to Mark McAllister next with a controversial proposal from Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Imagine driving down the street, a police officer randomly pulls you over and tests your breath for alcohol.
In the end, if it saves lives, I'm for it.
If you've had nothing to drink, there may be nothing to worry about. But beyond the occasional ride program, Mothers Against Drunk Driving is pushing for random breath tests to become law, suggesting it could lead to safer roads.
Worldwide is the #1 area that you can reduce impaired driving, deaths and injuries by as much up to 20% in 1 year.
Okay, and go. Ottawa is currently considering the idea, which has already been put to use throughout Europe, Australia and New Zealand. But civil liberties groups from here suggest being stopped with no reason would violate our rights, offering less freedom to roam.
I think any time that you allow police to take this type of action on a random basis or on a whim, it opens the door to abuse of that power.
The law in Canada, as it stands, allows for a roadside test only if police have reasonable grounds to believe a person has alcohol or drugs in their system and they've been operating a vehicle. With the proposed change, an officer wouldn't need to make that judgment. It's argued that there's a chance random testing might not be random at all, though, and certain members of the public might be subject to greater scrutiny. Ontario has yet to weigh in on the debate.
We take a look at the proposals. We decide whether it actually advances the public safety that's already here in the province of Ontario.
The number of drunk drivers on the roads has been reduced through the years thanks to public education and changes in social behavior. Whether more can be caught at random remains to be seen. Just keep checking your rear view.
It allows them too much privilege, I think.
Mark McAllister, Global News.
Well, transit service is back to normal now, but the better way became the frustrating way for thousands of subway riders this morning. That's because a water main break caused a major shutdown along the Bloor-Danforth line, leading to hot tempers in the cool morning air. Carrie Marsden has more now on that and how you can avoid unexpected service problems in the future.
It was a morning of mayhem for TTC users.
All the way down.
This is where it started. A water main break near Greenwood Station flooded the tracks and forced the TTC to shut down service between Woodbine and Broadview for several hours, impacting thousands during their morning commute.
It was overcrowded. People were piling down. Someone's going to get hurt.
Seems like we've been waiting forever. Like one shuttle bus comes up, it's going right to the end, and we're right here, so they just keep going by.
The Bloor-Danforth line during rush hour carries 25,000 people an hour. The TTC used about 43 shuttle buses to move its passengers, but spokesman Brad Ross admits they don't even come close to replacing the trains.
A subway train can carry 1,100 people. A bus can carry about 65 people, so it's a lot of people who are having to wait for shuttle buses. So there's not a lot of contingency really that you can put in place when you lose the subway for a significant amount of time.
Now, just before 8:30 this morning, crews were able to pump the water out and get service back on track, but it took about 1 hour for the crowds outside to diminish. even longer for traffic on city streets near the Danforth line. Many people opted to drive after hearing of the subway shutdown.
I'm very late for school right now.
How late?
About half an hour late.
I turned off the Danforth about 10 minutes ago to try and come around the back way, but still slow.
The TTC admits the situation wasn't ideal. A water main break is something you can never really prepare for. It's reminding passengers to sign up for e-alerts so that when there is a disruption, you'll find out right away and can plan an alternate route. Carrie Marsden, Global News.
Careless smoking may be the cause behind a fatal fire this weekend in Scarborough. Fire officials believe a lit cigarette on a mattress started the blaze that killed 2 young women and left a young man with serious burns. Authorities have now identified the second woman as a Chinese student visiting from Kitchener-Waterloo. Her name is not being released.
Still ahead, a shocking Halloween costume attracts national attention to a town east of Toronto. A man dressed up as a member of the KKK. What police are now saying about it. That story coming up in minutes.
New hope tonight for a long neglected piece of real estate on Toronto's waterfront. The land, once used as a tent city by squatters, has now been sold to developers. And here's what we're talking about: a 5.5 hectare site south of Lakeshore Boulevard between Parliament and Cherry. Our City Hall reporter Jackson Prosco joins us live next from the scene with more on that story tonight. Good evening, Jackson.
Good evening, Ann. Well, this land has been in limbo for more than a decade, but tonight comes word of a buyer with big plans for the area. Now, of course, this area has essentially sat dormant. It was at one point planned as a big box store space to be owned by the Home Depot, but more famously it is known as the site of Toronto's Tent City. Now, at the time Tent City was here, there were hundreds of squatters in the area. They were eventually evicted, and the land sat essentially empty ever since then. Well, after the evictions and after the sale to this new developer, we're getting word that there are plans for mixed use of this site, a lot of residential, some commercial space as well. All of it apparently fits with Waterfront Toronto's vision for the entire waterfront redevelopment.
What's permitted to be built is a variety of commercial and residential uses. We envision residential uses like apartment and condominium buildings. We envision retail to happen at grade along the street, so we have lively, vibrant streets.
This isn't a change of course. This is just more of the vision being able to be developed because you have actual developers who have acquired the property.
Now, we're still a long ways from knowing exactly what the developer has planned, exactly what they would like to build on this site. Obviously, though, it will be watched very closely. Everyone very happy to see that there is progress being made developing the waterfront, and this piece of land is a key part of that. Leslie, back to you.
On the waterfront, Jackson Prosco, thank you. Ontario's pit bull ban is taking a bite out of the world's most famous dog trainer's roadshow. Cesar Millan, known to millions, of course, as the dog whisperer, has had to leave one of his prized pups at home. As Global's Marianne Domain reports, it's led to a political dogfight at Queen's Park.
He's known as the dog whisperer on TV, but today Cesar Millan had some MPs barking at Queen's Park, and it all centered around Millan's pit bull sidekick, Junior.
No, I don't think that the Junior is going to be a menace to society.
Absolutely ridiculous. And Cesar Millan has said in many interviews that it's the deed, not the breed.
Problem is, Junior's breed is banned in Ontario and has been for the past 5 years because pit bulls are considered dangerous.
I really respect the work of Cesar Millan, the work that he does. You know why we brought in the pit bull legislation? It was to protect people.
That's forced Millan to leave his famous companion at home while traveling through Ontario on a cross-Canada book tour. NDP MP Sherry DeNovo says the provincial government is discriminating against pit bull owners.
It's significant that Cesar Millan, the foremost dog trainer in the world, has had 2 pit bulls, 2 generations of pit bulls that he's used as his example of well-trained, happy, responsive dogs.
DeNovo, who has fought to overturn breed-specific legislation, wrote a letter to the government condemning officials for not allowing the celebrity dog trainer to travel in Ontario with his famous companion. DeNovo even asked the government to make an exception for Millan, but exceptions are only made for pit bulls participating in dog shows and certain sports. Lovely to meet you. Millan met with our own Ann Roskowski and Leslie Roberts and their dogs back in September. He is famous for taming and rehabilitating aggressive dogs and has always maintained that behavioral problems have more to do with the owner than the dog.
It's embarrassing that internationally renowned Cesar Millan and his dog Junior won't be able to make it here to the province of Ontario.
Millan is currently in Ottawa. From there, he heads to Victoria. Marianne Domain, Global News.
Controversial, of course, but look, it is the owner, and much of what CIII Milan does is he works with the owners because they are the ones that create the unhealthy habits in their pets.
I know that firsthand because he broke in the habit with my dog, but it's, of course, the issue is always it's the dog and not the breed. Something maybe a little too late here in Ontario, at least for now.
It may be so. Thanks. So much more ahead on the News Hour, including spending power and Canadian women.
Ever wonder why the majority of marketing is aimed directly at women? Well, that's because we control the finances, and a new study says we like it that way. I'm Laura Zilke. That's ahead on Consumer SOS.
Thank you, Laura. Also on the subject of spending, you know it's that time of the year, right? Well, kids put toys to the test today, and their list of the best is coming up.
I'm Daryl Kaninen-Belt. What does an orange, a piece of licorice, and a piece of string have to do with Take Your Kids to Work Day? That story coming up.
Well, I can't wait, Daryl. But stay with us. Anthony's first look at the weather is just 30 seconds away.
It plays. It stows. It has best-in-class rear legroom and the best highway fuel efficiency rating. It sees. It calls. And it starts at less than 28 grand. We gave it more ideas per square inch because more is what we do. Terrain, the compact crossover from GMC.
Welcome back. The clouds have rolled in, and if you plan on being outside at any point this evening, I recommend the umbrella because we are watching rain showers on radar that are pushing towards the entire GTA. Let's take a look at that local radar, and you can see the green moving in from the west. Just some very light rain shower activity, not enough to soak you, but still it is definitely moving in, and we'll be around for the next several hours. Let's zoom out and show you that band of rain that actually extends all the way up towards the Nickel Belt and all the way down towards the Windsor area. That's a cold front that's actually going to be weakening over the next day, day and a half. The air mass behind it, not all that chilly, so Thursday is actually going to be another mild day, and during the morning, right now we're sitting at about 6-7 degrees around the GTA. During the morning, we're only going to be at around 5, so we're going to warm up again tomorrow, but by Friday, rain showers still expected to turn over to the solid form. We'll talk about that next system coming up from inside.
Hi, this is Rob Leff, live at Yonge Dundas Square, and coming up on the News Hour, getting connected with the latest in video game technology.
Over time, your hair loses keratin.
New Excellence Cream, L'Oreal's first hair color with Pro Keratin. It revitalizes for visibly younger looking hair.
My hair feels stronger. My color is radiant, not a single gray.
New Excellence Pro Keratin from L'Oreal.
It's here. The all-new Chevrolet Cruze. Named Auto Best 2010 by European journalists. Car of the Year in India, and World Touring Championship winner in Great Britain, Italy, and Brazil. It's a big story for a compact car. The world proved it. The all-new Chevrolet Cruze. Best-in-class fuel efficiency, 10 standard airbags, best coverage in Canada. Don't just drive, cruise.
The President's Choice Holiday Insiders Report is almost here. Tell them about it, Steve. Jen. Mark. Watch for it at the end of this week, in your local paper or in store. President's Choice. Isn't it time you switched supermarkets?
It was a pretty flat day on the markets. Here's how the day ended. The TSX lost 10 points by the closing bell. In New York, the Dow Jones gained 26 points and the Canadian dollar rose 26 basis points to close the day at 99.32 cents US. An Ontario MPP is calling for better health warning labels on all cell phones sold in the province.
Of course, this affects a lot of us here, and the NDP health critic France Gélinas introduced a private member's bill today. She's urging cell phone companies to display health warnings more prominently. Gélinas says a sticker on every cell phone would serve as a constant reminder to keep the device away from the body.
All that this bill is doing is taking this information that is buried in manuals that are really not user-friendly and making it available so that you see it and it's a constant reminder, as well as an educational tool that those devices have risk and there are ways to use them more safely.
Meantime, Health Canada says the radio frequency energy from cell phones and cell phone towers poses no confirmed health risks.
Well, from handheld devices to hands-free gaming, at midnight tonight, Microsoft is launching a revolutionary system for its Xbox video game console, one that requires no controller to play. Our Rob Leth joins us live at Yonge Dundas Square with more on this new form of home entertainment. Good evening, Rob.
Good evening, Ann. It's a big party down here at Yonge Dundas Square as Xbox is going all out for the launch of their new motion controller. Really the rage in gaming these days. It started with the Nintendo Wii. PlayStation Move came out a couple of weeks ago, and now it is the Kinect for the Xbox 360. And as you mentioned, you don't need one of these anymore. You're the controller, Ann. I'm the controller. Anthony's the controller. Everybody's the controller. Big party here. There's even a cube elevated in the middle of Yonge Dundas Square. And tonight, it really is a glass case of emotion.
It's the stuff of science fiction. Microsoft's entry into the realm of motion-controlled games offers a new twist. The controller is you.
With Kinect, you just step in front of your Xbox 360 and it sees you. Christina's playing behind us, and you can see that if you want to kick a ball, you just kick it. If you want to hit it with your hand, you just hit it. Your entire body is being tracked.
The technology closely resembles what was seen in the science fiction movie Minority Report.
What Microsoft is trying to do is take the popularity of motion sensing technology and add its own kind of sci-fi spin on it. And it really wants this to be the ubiquitous futuristic gaming model.
Geared toward the casual gamer, Kinect is the Xbox's answer to the PlayStation Move and the Nintendo Wii, all geared toward promoting physical activity.
While other people are putting things into your hands, gadgets and gizmos and wands, we're taking things out. There is nothing between you and your game.
The Wii launched 4 years ago and immediately rose to the top of the highly competitive video game wars, a $2 billion industry here in Canada. This holiday season, Xbox is hoping to win a lot of those gamers back.
The thing with Wii was it came out really fast and everyone jumped on it, but all these companies are making it better, innovating it, and this is outstanding. I've never seen anything like it.
With games now upon us that allow you to work out, play sports, and dance, all without the aid of a controller, what will we see next in the gaming world and beyond?
What we might start to see is where will it go perhaps in the enterprise world? Will this motion sensing technology not just be in gaming, but will start to, find its position in business, in enterprise, in e-commerce?
And it'll definitely be interesting to see where it all goes from here. Business, banking, e-commerce, that's all well and good. But for now, it's all about dancing. Lady Gaga, Poker Face, let's go. Let's hear it.
Is there nothing that Rob won't do on TV? Rob Leth, live, very live at Yonge Dundas Square tonight. No more coffee, Rob. Not surprisingly, the Kinect Xbox is one of the top 10 toys of the 2010 Holiday Hot Toy List. The list, compiled by the experts, kids, unveiled today, and another new gaming system ranks right up there.
Big swing and a big miss.
And this is it, the PlayStation Move. It puts you right in the game and also allows you to connect and play with friends and family. While video gaming systems took 2 of the top spots, more traditional toys also proved popular today.
We have the Nerf N-Strike Long Strike CS6, the longest Nerf ever made. It's 3 feet long. It shoots up to 35 feet far. No, it's 3 feet, and it has a barrel extension, flip-up sights, and easy reload clips, so you can shoot even faster.
Other top toys include the Airhogs Pocket Copter, the world's smallest remote control helicopter, and for little ones, the Play School Alfie. One big classroom in one little portable robot buddy.
Well, speaking of Christmas shopping and who calls the shots in your home when it comes to spending, a new survey says more than half of Canadian women are the prime decision makers on how their family's money is spent. Laura Zilke takes a closer look at their post-recession shopping habits.
The key holder to the family finances now keeps them in a purse rather than a pocket. She still enjoys a good cup of coffee, but at least according to a new survey, she's good at planning too.
We perhaps are a little more risk averse, so we tend to perhaps plan longer term and put our investments in places where we can get to them later on.
MasterCard Canada compared the spending and saving habits of women today to 2006 before the recession. The majority of women are still responsible for day-to-day household financial decisions.
They like it now. They enjoy wearing the financial pants in the family. So they've really stepped up and really embraced it. And they've come through the recession feeling more in control and more financially satisfied.
It's not new that women are the household spenders in the family.
We should be. Common sense. And we're looking after our families. That's first and foremost, right?
Yeah.
So we'll make the decisions based on that.
Almost 3/4 of women are the ones buying groceries, clothing, personal items, and gifts. Just look at any ad or billboard around almost any city. They're all aimed directly at women.
If they're not even in the store doing the shopping, they're the ones making the list and making the decisions.
But weathering the financial storm has turned women into savers as well. The survey found no longer is it as important to buy name brands. Most would rather get a good deal. More and more, it's important to invest for the education of children and for retirement.
It's so important that women take a powerful role and take responsibility for some of the financial decisions because, let's face it, statistically speaking, women do outlive men.
One more reason to take responsibility for your finances. Laura Zilke, Global News.
No surprise with the survey. Women have been running the show basically for a generation.
This is so true.
And we're doing much better because of it. Still to come tonight. It was a Halloween costume that went too far. Look at this. A KKK outfit took home first prize this weekend. We'll tell you what has happened now to the Legion, where the party was held.
And it's a chronic problem for some people, but when does being fashionably late go out of style? We'll have some tips for solving tardiness.
You'll have to be watching that ahead. Also ahead, look at this, running for their lives. We'll explain this strange sight that happened just across the bridge in Buffalo overnight. Don't go away. We're back after a break.
And I'm Kimberly Fowler. We're flying over problems heading on the westbound Gardner. Here's a look at the ramp from the Lakeshore West ramp onto the westbound Gardner. We got a collision. It's blocking the left lane. We do have tow crews as well as Toronto Rescue crews on scene. Traffic just busy on the approach. Elsewhere, the rest of our majors running collision free. Juicy, succulent flame-grilled traffic for Nando's flame-grilled chicken restaurants. Explore the crazy good flavors of Portugal and Africa at Nando's. Click findyournandos.com.
Tonight, we're merging! The tribes are united, but one castaway wants to spoil the party.
I'm stealing equipment. I've taken fruit.
Hey, where's the flour? To survive the ultimate sin, she'll have to outlast the others.
It tastes better when you're stealing it.
All new Survivor, tonight at 8/7 Central on Global.
Right now at your Ford store, our smartest, safest, and most fuel-efficient vehicles are attracting a lot of attention. Because during the Ford Right Here, Right Now event, the best-selling brand in Canada now has some pretty impressive offers. Like 0% financing for up to 60 months. Plus, a no extra charge winter safety package, including winter tires, rims, and more on select new models. So hurry in. It's all right here, right now. Only at your Ford store.
Dinner on the table under $25? Now that's streetwise. Like our bargain bucket meal. 10 pieces of original recipe chicken, 4 fries, and 4 salads. Everyday low price, just $24.99. Dinner the whole family can enjoy? Very streetwise. KFC. So good.
I want a bank that recognizes what's right for my business isn't necessarily right for every business.
I want a dialogue where straight business talk leads to straightforward financial advice. Straightforward results.
I plan first and I move fast. I need a bank that can keep up. And when necessary, take the lead. My lead.
Your business, your needs, your bank.
Ew, what's that?
Oh, that little flap of skin? It's a skin tag. I wish I could get rid of it.
Dr. Scholl's Skin Tag Remover. It's the only one with DermaFreeze technology to easily remove skin tags with as few as one treatment.
Bobby, where'd it go?
Dr. Scholl's Skin Tag Remover.
Born in Germany, bred on the Autobahn. From a car that's won 39 awards in 20 European countries. State-of-the-art engine. Adaptive suspension. Introducing the sport-injected 2011 Regal. It's why Motor Trend says Buick is back.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Smokers Helpline. Ready to talk about quitting? Call a Quit Coach for free, confidential, one-to-one support.
Are you the princess of procrastination?
I've left people waiting at restaurants for like hours.
A lord of lethargy?
I'm always late.
We'll help you put an end to the panic and break that cycle of chronic lateness for all time. And from the operating room to the newsroom.
This is the kind of stuff we do in news.
See your job through eager eyes on Take Your Kids to Work Day. Welcome back. You wouldn't think this kind of thing was possible in the year 2010, but some truly offensive choices of Halloween costumes are making headlines tonight.
Listen to this. One man wore a Klansman robe while another wore blackface. It happened at a weekend party in Campbellford, that's east of Peterborough. And tonight, as a result, the OPP is now looking into the case. The latest from Alex Pearson.
It's a Halloween costume that's put the town of Campbellford in the spotlight, and not a positive one.
I can't believe there's people that stupid.
The costume seen here is of a white man in KKK robes pulling a man in blackface on a rope. It was worn to a party on Saturday at the Royal Canadian Legion. Even more shocking, it won Most Original Costume in a contest voted on by Legion execs. What would you say to these men?
I couldn't repeat what I'd like to say to them.
The man who wore it has since apologized. He wasn't home, but his son was, and had this to say.
I understand people are saying like you dressed up like the KKK and stuff, but like it's just a Halloween costume, right? Like people dress up like axe murderers all the time.
Does he have any regrets?
Yeah, and he says he should have thought over it a little bit better. Maybe he should have went to the Halloween party as Raggedy Ann and Andy with my mom.
The Legion, which has temporarily been shut down due to an investigation, has received numerous complaints since the incident. No one locally here is allowed to talk. They've been told not to by Provincial Command, which is now coming here to assess the situation. They weren't talking today, instead issuing this statement. We deeply regret the disgraceful lack of judgment exhibited by the individuals involved with the incident. Be assured the matter is being dealt with swiftly by means of our internal mechanism procedures. Don't allow their actions to besmirch our reputation, our many good community deeds. The mayor, disgusted by the incidents, even more angered about the headlines and how it reflects on his sleepy community.
The community is upset. Many members of our community are also appalled, shocked in fact, and they don't support what's happened.
What has most Legion members concerned is the fact that this controversy has erupted right in the middle of its most important campaign for the poppy sales. They're concerned this will reflect on the entire Legion and affect sales. In Campbellford, Alex Pearson, Global News.
Around the world tonight, it has been 3.5 years since Madeleine McCann went missing while on vacation in Portugal.
Now her parents are calling for a review of the evidence surrounding the case. They fear the ongoing search for their daughter will come to an end because the money is running out. The Find Madeleine Fund was created after the 3-year-old was taken from her hotel room in 2007. Jerry and Kate McCann are asking the public to sign an online petition for the Portuguese and British police to keep the case going.
For the authorities now, if Madeleine was found, it would almost be by chance, and it shouldn't be right that this crime is solved by another child being abducted. We don't want to have...
The McCanns have appealed to various sponsors, including J.K. Rowling and Richard Branson, asking them to contribute to the fund. Kate McCann quit work as a doctor to search for her daughter full-time after she went missing. They have twin boys who are now 5 years of age.
Elsewhere, another massive storm swept through northern Thailand, sinking several fishing vessels. Waves, some as high as 7 meters, capsized boats that were loaded down with big catches. The country has been hit by several storms recently that have caused massive flooding. More than 100 people have been killed.
Police outside of Buffalo spent the night trying to round up more than 100 sheep on the lam. The sheep somehow managed to escape from a slaughterhouse. Last night in Lackawanna, they took off throughout the town. The owner says he isn't quite sure how the animals got out.
And a successor has been chosen tonight for Germany's World Cup predicting octopus. Meet Paul II. Name, of course, after the world-famous oracle who correctly predicted the results of all of Germany's matches of the World Cup, including the finals. The aquarium hasn't decided whether to give new Paul a shot at predicting the 2012 European Soccer Championship. And no jokes, at risk of getting ourselves in trouble tonight.
No, Paul I was one of a kind.
He was one of a kind. sort of like our Anthony Farnell?
Actually, that's true.
When it comes to predicting forecasts.
Yeah, and of course, we've been talking about the chance of flurries for a few days now. Still looks likely later this week. We'll get to that storm system in just a second. I want to take you first to Yonge Dundas Square once again. And I love seeing snowstorms when you're right down in the square and all the lights also shining off in the background. But no, none of that tonight. We do have some rain showers. They're going to be moving through in the next couple of hours, and you'll be seeing a lot more in the way of umbrellas as well. Early this morning, fog was an issue. This was the scene in Waterloo. Anthony sending that in. A jogger losing himself in the distance. This visibility was down to almost zero for a time. And also with these cold morning lows, yes, if you look closely to this rock cliff, those are icicles, the first icicles of the year showing up, at least up in Dorset. And one more picture. This is from Mary. Storms Corners. How about that city name? And yeah, the plows going through, seagulls off in the background. And of course, the harvest now pretty much complete. Those fields are getting wet and frozen in several instances. This is a 2-year-old, Sasha, in Brantford. Every day, apparently, at around 6:30, she stops whatever she's doing, looks at the TV set, and watches the weather forecast. Don't know why, but maybe it has something to do with my personality, or maybe it has something to do with these cool colors in the background and the weather maps, and I think that's more likely. Now, tomorrow afternoon, we're expecting a temperature still rather mild, 10 degrees. It's not going to be quite as cold to start to the day. 5 instead of the -2 we had early on today. Not much in the way of sunshine expected, and those showers, if they do occur, will be late in the afternoon ahead of our next storm system. Now, what's happening is a couple of different storms. One coming in on this northern jet stream, another one further towards the south. Now, the combination of these two are eventually going to develop a storm on the east coast, not really affecting us here in the GTA, but parts of eastern Ontario, watch out. There could be snow enough to coat the ground late this week into early this weekend. Currently, though, we do have scattered rain showers. They're pushing into the GTA as we speak. Those rain showers could mix with snow later on this evening, already down to 3 degrees in Sudbury. We're sitting at 8 in Toronto, 9 currently in Kingston. So as this cold front moves towards the area, it's going to weaken and pretty much stall over much of southern Ontario during the day on Thursday. That's why it's not going to be quite that cold. But by Friday, here comes that storm really developing quickly as it moves up the coast. And look out, all of that blue from Kingston up towards Cornwall, Ottawa as well, indicative of some heavier snowfall totals. We'll keep you updated for sure on this system as it does develop. 4 degrees tonight in Toronto, 6 in Kingston. Down to the freezing point once again in Ottawa. For the rest of the region, much warmer tonight because of the extra cloud cover and those scattered rain showers as well. Tomorrow, 10 degrees in Toronto, maybe a shower late in the day, mixed with flurries, Sudbury and North Bay, and that's the leading edge of some cooler air. So for the GTA, 9 degrees in Barrie, cloudy, risk of a shower, 10 with afternoon clouds in St. Catharines, and over the next 7 days, it will be warming up. By the end of the period, we do have some cool air. I wanted to skip right over that. 5 degrees on Friday, 4 on Saturday, and it's going to be breezy as well. So just a few flurries expected here in the city of Toronto. It's mostly eastern Ontario and, of course, those lake belt areas that were quite concerned, or, well, I guess they're used to it, but in the city, we're going to be seeing some pictures for sure by the end of the week of snow.
And as normal, people north of the 4 won't be laughing at the people
complaining about a cup of dusting on the lawn.
Yeah. I actually broke out for the first time the winter jacket to walk the dog this morning.
Yeah, it was chilly out there. -2 early on today.
Yeah, but it's going to get warmer.
Yes. Thank you, Anthony. Well, everybody, hold the salt. Canada considers a voluntary program to get the excess sodium out of our foods. Coming up on the NewsHour, why some experts say the voluntary sodium reduction program may not be good enough for our health.
Also ahead tonight, how your work schedule could make you more accident prone. We'll explain coming up.
I'm Kimberly Fowler. We're flying over the 404 at Shepherd Avenue, taking a look at traffic on both directions. Now, the traffic lights coming down the screen, that is your southbound volume. Northbound through this area doesn't look too bad, but the southbound volume, you've got some slowdowns from Finch over the 401 down to Winford Drive. And those problems that were on the Lakeshore entrance to the westbound Gardner, they've cleared away. Juicy, succulent flame grilled traffic. Fernando's Flame Grilled Chicken Restaurants. Explore the crazy good flavors of Portugal and Africa. Click findyournandos.com.
Born in Germany, bred on the Autobahn. From a car that's won 39 awards in 20 European countries. State-of-the-art engine, adaptive suspension. Introducing the sport-injected 2011 Regal. It's why Motor Trend says Buick is back.
When you fill your home with fragrance, the holidays come alive. Release the magic of the season with the new winter collection from Glade. To learn about our holiday decor offer, visit glade.ca for details.
SC Johnson, a family company.
I'm with you, you're with me. There's no other place to be. Here we are, we'll make everything worthwhile. And the sun shining bright, I got you here by my side. You're everything I need to make me smile.
For great deals made for Canadians, go to visitorlando.com/Canada.
Derek Snyder here with your Score Minute. The sky is falling in Leafland as the captain, Dion Phaneuf, is out. Phaneuf is going to miss the next 4 to 6 weeks after having his leg lacerated by the skate of Senators forward Peter Regan in last night's game. Phaneuf has 4 assists in his first 11 games so far this season, and it won't get any easier for the Leafs, who have lost 7 of their last 8 games as they visit Alexander Ovechkin and the Capitals tonight. The Raptors face a challenge themselves as they visit the Utah Jazz. The Dinos have lost 10 straight games against the Jazz and haven't won in Salt Lake City since November of 2004. The Raptors are coming off a tough 3-point loss to the Kings on Monday. The Tennessee Titans have taken a chance on Randy Moss, claiming the disgruntled receiver from waivers today. Moss was traded from the Patriots to the Vikings after 4 games and spent only 4 games with Minnesota before being released on Monday. The Buffalo Bills passed on Randy Moss but did claim former Chargers linebacker Sean Merriman. He will report to Buffalo but is not expected to suit up for Sunday's game versus the Bears. That game, of course, will be played in Toronto. We'll have all your highlights tonight on NewsHour Final.
Why are some people never on time? I'm Ina Reed, coming up on NewsHour, tips for the chronically late.
This is more than just a competition. I'm here for a reason. I will not let you down. I really want to get one more shot.
I'm worried that I'm going to go home tonight.
We might be deadlocked. It's the end of the line for you.
Yes, this is the famous to-do list, and somehow updating the bathroom, it just hasn't gotten crossed off. I'm a grown woman, and I was scared of my own bathroom until I went to Lowe's and I met Betsy.
I just told her that she could get it done in one weekend.
And I was like, what?
And I reminded her of our everyday low price guarantee.
Betsy's awesome. She really helped me pull together a great look. I love my new bathroom, and it didn't break the bank.
Wow, finally crossing it off the list.
Experience Lowe's, Canada's new home improvement warehouse. What are you saving for? Canada Savings Bonds. Available until December 1st.
Born in Germany, bred on the Autobahn. From a car that's won 39 awards in 20 European countries. State-of-the-art engine, adaptive suspension. Introducing the sport-injected 2011 Regal. It's why Motor Trend says Buick is back.
Welcome back. Well, we all know someone who is perpetually late. Sometimes it can be funny, sometimes though it can also be annoying.
Are you looking
at me?
No,
keep going.
But when does it become a problem? It is a problem for me. Mina Ree explains why it may not be all our faults.
I said nothing.
It never fails, whether it's places to go or people to see. Neither Carissa Au nor Murat Guler ever seem to get there on time.
I'm always late.
Chronically and horribly late.
Both students admit they've been punctually challenged for as long as they can remember.
Last year I only attended like 6 to 8 classes.
In the entire year?
Yeah.
For 10 years there, we didn't make it to the ceremony of any of our friends' weddings.
You'd think after being fired from 2 jobs, the 37-year-old would learn that fashionably late is no longer in fashion.
My attention is just getting diverted by 101 different things before I even get out the door.
This clinical psychologist says some chronically late adults suffer ADHD, which explains why they have trouble blocking out distractions.
If you're motivated to do something about it, it can change almost overnight.
Turns out the trouble isn't with time, but with self-discipline and not learning from your mistakes.
Itemize the appointment, your behavior, and then what happened to slow you down.
People often cope by poking fun.
The term GST is Guler Standard Time.
Say if someone were to pick me up, they would call me and tell me when they're leaving their house. They'll be like, okay, I'm downstairs, come down now, when they actually haven't left their house yet.
While it may seem that friends are doing you a favor by putting up with your tardy behavior, experts say it's actually counterproductive, that tough love is a far better approach.
What will often change people is the serious consequences that occur after they behave in this way.
Experts say don't feel bad if you have to be harsh. You're actually helping them relieve stress.
There's a lot of guilt, and that shows up in anxiety throughout the day, throughout the week.
Come clean and make that commitment to break the cycle once and for all.
But unless that admission takes place, and unless they're prepared to do something about it, this will go on indefinitely until the day they're gone.
My mom always said I'd be late to my own funeral.
Mina Ree, Global News.
For the record, you're just fashionably late.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Okay.
All right, on to your health now. And 200 or 300 years ago, the biggest killer was foodborne or waterborne infectious diseases. And now some say it's the food itself. One of the big problems we're told tonight is sodium.
Well, Canada is considering a voluntary program to get the excess salt out of our food. But as our health specialist Beatrice Politi tells us tonight, some research shows we may be getting it all wrong. What does that mean, Bea?
Well, the thing is, voluntary reductions can help, and they do work, but they have to actually be completed. Now, a new study says the benefits to public health would be many times higher if the salt reduction was regulated and mandatory.
John DeSalle is pretty selective when it comes to meals and snacks.
Watching my salt means trying to find the lowest salt bread, and they do put a fair bit of salt in bread.
The reality is most Canadians consume over 3,000 milligrams of sodium a day. That's 1 teaspoon and double what we need. Canada is now developing voluntary limits on sodium in food products.
It really requires close government oversight in particular, but also Canadians to stay right on top of this.
But a new Australian study says if you want a real payoff, compulsory cuts are far more effective, 20 times more effective, which would mean less heart disease, osteoporosis, cancer, even asthma, and fewer deaths. It can be tough to kick the salt habit. 80% of our intake comes from packaged and processed food. This health advocate says foods should have warning labels so Canadians know what they're biting into.
Very clear warning signs on food. This food is high in sodium, this food is high in sugar, it's high in calories, or it's high in saturated fats.
Look for the blue band.
Campbell Canada has been reducing sodium since 2003. Many of its products now have 25% less, and the company says it plans to make more cuts over time.
Generally speaking, all of our new soups are launched at 480 milligrams or less. For context, that's about half where they were when we started our sodium reduction journey.
But remember, that lower sodium banner doesn't necessarily give a product the green light.
It's also important that Canadians understand that that does not necessarily mean that their foods are all low in sodium. Canadians need to read the food labels, and many products of both Campbell's and other companies are still very high in sodium.
Canada's food and restaurant industries have committed to reducing sodium consumption to 2,300 milligrams or just under a teaspoon by 2016. Some health advocates say if those goals aren't met, that the government should be ready with legislated mandatory limits and then impose them immediately. Now, a lot of the foods that are really heavy when it comes to sodium are pickled foods, condiments,
obviously.
sauces, deli meats, but a couple of things you might not suspect, bread and cereal.
Okay, these are the hidden salts.
Yes, indeed.
For good taste. You don't like salt.
Either do you. We're unsalted.
Yeah, and me 3.
Yeah.
We're
Pepper,
all
on
we're
the other
unsalted
hand.
here. Yeah.
Although I'd
pepper's
like a
another
pickle
one.
too.
Once in a while. Absolutely.
What else, B?
All right, well, we've got a little bit more health news for you. If you work the night shift, you may be more likely to get injured on the job. Researchers at the University of British Columbia examined data on 30,000 Canadians. Those who work nights or rotating shifts are twice as likely to get injured than those who work regular hours. Women were more prone to accidents. Researchers suggest that women tend to be responsible for childcare and household work and have more difficulty maintaining regular sleep. And that's your family health.
B, always wonderful. Thank you. No more pencils, no more books. Instead, it's welcome to work for grade 9 students. Just ahead on the News Hour, how students spent Take Our Kids to Work Day here at Global and at workplaces right across the city.
It's here, the all-new Chevrolet Cruze. Named Auto Best 2010 by European journalists, Car of the Year in India, and World Touring Championship winner in Great Britain, Italy, and Brazil. It's a big story for a compact car.
If you're like my patients, you want to hear you've done a good job caring for your mouth. That's why I recommend a rinse like Crest Pro Health Multi-Protection. It helps you get a better dental checkup because it provides all these benefits, giving you a cleaner, healthier looking mouth. Crest Rinse makes the difference. So be ready for your next dental checkup. Look for new Crest Pro Health Multi-Protection Rinse Clear Mint.
Your sunbeams, they blinded me and left me standing here now home. Now then.
For great deals made for Canadians, go to visitorlando.com/Canada.
Seeking shelter in the sunshine.
So, this beats standing, huh?
You were not kidding about the good seats.
And we didn't have to bring a thermos.
Better yet, we get the fancy hot chocolate.
And donuts. Bring on Santa.
Bring on Santa. I'm not sure you really thought this through.
Tim Hortons' new Hot Chocolate Supreme with added chocolate syrup and whipped topping. Just $1.89 for a limited time. And try our new triple chocolate donut.
Still good for people watching.
Always Tim Hortons.
Be ready for winter driving with new Reflex Hybrid Wiper Blades. The exclusive Flex Shell technology prevents ice and snow buildup and evenly distributes pressure right to the ends of the blade. Get everything your car needs for winter at Canadian Tire.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, the most efficient two-stage furnace in the market.
The entertainment update is brought to you by Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, the musical. Live on stage now at the Princess of Wales Theatre. For tickets, go to mervish.com.
Welcome back. We've seen the future of television.
That's right, and we saw the future right here today as a number of grade 9 students joined us for the annual Take Our Kids to Work Day.
Thanks, guys.
And they love it when they stop by the ET Canada set in the next studio. And a lesson in TV magic as well today. Students got a look at our new studio. Our Daryl Kaneinabelt joined the Niners experiencing the world of work outside the classroom.
Good. Our day
Here they come.
included 3 visits.
Okay, watch. 1,
First, a fire station,
2,
then the Toronto Stock Exchange,
What are some of the signs of a heart attack?
and a hospital.
Stay clear of patient.
A day in the life
Hey, my name's Danny Namorado. This is my son, John Paul.
Hi, John Paul.
Hi.
Of working parents.
It's hard stuff. A lot of training.
For sons.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to do it.
And daughters. What did you think of the ride?
It was amazing.
From professions that rescue lives to callings that keep people alive.
Has everyone got all of their sterile OR gear on?
I joined these grade 9 students for a Take Your Kids to Work Day at Mississauga's Trillium Health Center
You'll see your heart.
for a hands-on demo of life in the OR.
How can I help you guys?
Where kids are learning in some lines of work there is no room for error. Our task, coronary bypass surgery. The challenge is to sew a piece of licorice.
But that's the vein, right?
Onto a beating orange heart.
Oh, that's good. Good job. Good job.
Teamwork here is key.
Double bypass. Nice work.
It was really cool to learn.
I just think it's important for them to see what a healthy workplace is, to see what it's like to be a part of an organization.
I thought I would just watch my dad put the uniform on, drive around, or do stuff and wait for the call. And then I found out doing a workshop and having a lot of fun.
Grade 9 comes just once, so for a parent, this day is special. But for kids, it's an experience that may help shape their future. Daryl Kaneinenbelt, Global News.
Well done, everybody. Well, you know what I noticed?
Tell me.
There's a little shadow above Anthony's lip.
Day 3.
It is starting, yes, our Movember campaign going very well, and we'll have more information in the days ahead. Outside right now, we're sitting at around 8 degrees. Tomorrow's high, 10. So we're going to be mild again tomorrow. Enjoy it. The cold air is on its way. Leslie Ann.
All right, Anthony, thank you. And that's it for us. Your next news at 11.
Over to Cheryl now for Look Ahead to ET Canada. Hey, Cheryl.
Hey, Leslie. Coming up at 7:30, TV confessions today from Leanne Rimes on the breakup of her marriage. Plus, Ricky Martin makes his first ever appearance on The View, while Portia de Rossi is opening up to her partner Ellen tomorrow. And despite overcoming her eating disorder, Portia admits she still has issues with her body.
I don't think that I'm perfect at all. I do.
Come on.
I do. But I mean, I accept the fact that I'm not perfect, and that's the difference.
Meanwhile, it's a Dancing with the Stars shocker as this week's top pair, Rick Fox and Cheryl Burke, are sent home, causing even a tough guy, Rick, to tear up.
My girlfriend, my daughter, my sister, they've been there supporting me all this competition, and thought that they won't get to come and support me as a dancer again. Was a little disappointing.
Plus, Keira Knightley's London pad gets broken into. Katy Perry shines in a sexy Harper's Bazaar photo shoot. Chris Pine's career proves he's unstoppable.
I feel like I won the lottery in many ways. In this business, there's really no correlation between hard work and success.
And coming up on Entertainment Tonight, a shocking new headline hits the tabloids. Marie Osmond beaten and abused by her ex-husband. But is it fact or fiction?
So we'll see you at 7:30 because ET's next.
I heard your mama has more bacteria per square inch than a toilet seat.
That's true. I dated her mama. And you know what? Sorry.
An all-new episode of The Office. Tomorrow at 9, 8 Central on Global.
I want a bank that recognizes what's right for my business isn't necessarily right for every business.
I want a dialogue where straight business talk leads to straightforward financial advice, straightforward results.
I plan first and I move fast. I need a bank that can keep up. And when necessary, take the lead. My lead.
Your business, your needs, your bank.
Just lift it. I'm lifting, I am. I don't know why I didn't do this on Labor Day. I don't know why you didn't do this on Thanksgiving. You helping? Ah, there's a hole in this sweatsuit.
Hey, guys. Figured you'd be looking for something warm. Oatmeal from Timmy's.
Oatmeal? Thank you.
Start your day in the warmest way with Tim Hortons new homestyle oatmeal. Enjoy maple or mixed berries, just $1.99 each.
We could have waited till December. Seriously?
Always Tim Hortons.
Here's a great way to cut down on your food preparation time. It's the Home Slicer Plus, available at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. The Slicer Plus is a top-quality chef's knife and cutting board, all in one. Slice fruit and vegetables right into the bowl. Its ergonomic handle makes it easy to slice with very little pressure. And it's powerful. Cut down on food preparation with the Home Slicer Plus.
Homeowners helping homeowners.
Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center.
Introducing a new bathroom cleaner that works overtime, day and night. New Scrubbing Bubbles Extender Clean, a continuous sprayer that lets the bubbles do the cleaning. With broad coverage, you just spray and wipe. Then let the water-activated formula take care of your bathroom. Let's go! For up to 4 days. New Scrubbing Bubbles Extender Clean. We work overtime so you don't have to.
SC Johnson, a family company.
It's here. The all-new Chevrolet Cruze. Named Auto Best 2010 by European journalists. Car of the Year in India, and World Touring Championship winner in Great Britain, Italy, and Brazil. It's a big story for a compact car. The world proved it. The all-new Chevrolet Cruze. Best-in-class fuel efficiency, 10 standard airbags, best coverage in Canada. Don't just drive, cruise.
Don't just